Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. Tonight, I just got done watching the third installment in the Avatar franchise, Avatar: Fire and Ash. And in a lot of ways, this is a proper send-off to the franchise that James Cameron started like 15 years ago, where we're getting the culmination of the overall story he was trying to tell. Essentially, this film picks up directly after the events of the last one, and I'm talking like they're in the same location doing the same thing. It literally picks up seconds afterwards, and humans are still trying to come and destroy this planet, and it's up to Jake and his family to unite a bunch of clans to help fight and protect this Earth and get humans off of it once and for all. That may sound a little similar to the last two films, and in concept and on paper in the elevator pitch, sure, it does feel that way, but when you actually watch the movie, this is the most unique out of the three of them, because the first two films, James Cameron really wanted to set up this world and make you fall in love with all of the Na'vi and all of the sea creatures and the land creatures, and he wanted to get you on board and really in their corner. So when the war for this planet eventually happens, which it does in this film, you really care about everybody that Jake's fighting for. And I thought that they did an excellent job with that, because once this movie kicks into high gear, they kind of do away with like bringing us to lavish locations and letting us really gawk in the awe and wonder of it all. That's gone. Here, it really is, they just hit the ground running. This general that's been hunting Jake Sully is out for revenge after the events of the last film, and he winds up befriending a clan that actually hates all of the other Na'vi, and that is Fire Clan. I feel like I'm watching an Avatar animated show when I watch these films, because you got earth, wind, fire, and land, different types of Na'vi that all specialize in different things, but that's besides the point. He befriends the Fire Clan that hates the Water Clan and hates the Land Clan for reasons that I won't spoil here, because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, and he utilizes them in their army to help fight back against Jake and his family and the Na'vi that he's rolling with, and it really is a battle for the fate of this planet, and I thought it was excellent. Honestly, this was my favorite one out of the three. I'm not gonna pull any punches here. I found myself really enjoying this film. Now, it is a little long, sure. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes, but even in the small moments that drag, and I'm telling you, there are very few, because this movie does not let up. It is constantly pulling you from scene to scene where important things are happening, and you never really feel bored, but you do start to feel the drag just a little bit, maybe because you have to go to the bathroom, or you're expecting a phone call, or you want to answer a text message. But even in the scenes that drag a little bit, my jaw is still on the floor, because I'm just so amazed at how beautiful everything is in this film. When I watch these movies, I'm not going for an evolutionary story. I'm not looking for the next great unique story. I'm going because, to me personally, and I'm not trying to make the argument that I'm right, I'm just saying for me personally, these films in a lot of ways are a beautiful roller coaster. It's like a roller coaster through a Christmas village. It's a fun time, there's not a lot of substance, and it's really pretty to watch while you're going through it. That's how I felt, at least with the first two films, where sure, they are in a lot of ways like Pocahontas and Fern Gully in space, but with Blue People, this one feels the most unique because it's getting to something that we haven't gotten to before, and I just feel like a kid again, looking up and watching the impossible happen before me, watching these beautiful worlds come to life, and this beautiful planet that James Cameron materialized out of thin air, just off of the top of his head, and it's just so jaw-dropping. The action in this movie is remarkable. When there's shit hitting the fan, and there's gunfights and bow and arrow fights and fights with aerial spacecrafts from the humans and the Na'vi on their winged creatures, it's just insane to watch, because not only is it beautiful to look at, but James Cameron knows how to stage a great action scene. Terminator in the police station, Terminator 2 in the office building where Arnold is holding down the fort with the Gatling gun against the cops. True Lies throughout the whole movie has great action set pieces. James Cameron knows how to film a really brutal, hard-hitting action scene, and there's like 10 of them in this movie. Like, there's just so much, and one of the things that I love so much about it is when there's just action for the sake of action, it all just kind of feels like noise. It's like useless noise, and it's cool to look at, but there's no depth behind it that really makes you care about it outside of it looking cool. But you take a movie like John Wick where his dog dies, and suddenly the action becomes way more visceral, and you're way more invested in it because you want him to kill everybody that hurt his dog. In this, they really get you on board with Jake Sully's mission of saving this planet that when the action's hitting and the stakes are high, you really care, and it makes the action all that more hard hitting. And on top of that, a lot of movies have throwaway villains for the sake of just giving the hero somebody to fight, but you don't ever really care about them. James Cameron goes above that one step further and makes the general that's hunting Jake Sully relatable to a certain degree. Sure, maybe we're not all in the military and we don't understand the mindset that he has, but he has a son that he cares about, and it starts to make him question his loyalties to humans and the Na'vi, and they make you kind of care about him. So I didn't want him to die towards the end of this movie when there is the final confrontation between him and Jake Sully, and there is a final confrontation between them, and it is epic. And everything about this movie is just so epic. So what I'm trying to say to you people is, if you don't like the first two films because you feel like it was too much of the same thing, you felt like it was too much Pocahontas, and you just don't appreciate the world that he's creating and how hard it is to make a movie like this, then you're not gonna like this movie. But if you're like me and you're just in awe and wonder at how insane this movie looks, and a lot of people don't think that there's actors performing here. Every time you see a Na'vi person on screen, it is an actor that went onto a stage and performed their lines and acted and moved and threw punches and did whatever they were going to do, and then it's overlaid with this CGI Na'vi creature over top them, and that's unheard of. Like, it's really hard to do, and it's why these movies are some of the most expensive movies on the planet to make, but it's just so gorgeous. And as a filmmaker myself, I can't help but appreciate the attention to detail and the craftsmanship that goes into making these worlds. James Cameron is an old man, but he has a kid inside of him, and it's that kid that's creating these worlds. I remember back times when I was a little kid running around the backyard fighting invisible zombies in this fake, desolate, abandoned world that I would create in my mind as I'm doing it. I've always been this little creative kid, and even as I've grown into my 30s, I'm still that kid at heart, and watching movies like this speaks to that kid in me. Watching a movie like Transformers, which are bad movies, but I still enjoy them because it's speaking to that kid in me. I haven't lost that inner little boy that loves these big, beautiful, fantastical worlds, and this is the best possible version of that, and it's also the best out of the three films. They knocked it out of the park here. I love this movie. It's the best one. I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10, only because it does drag a little bit, and some of the dialogue is a little cheesy. James Cameron is stuck in like this early 90s style of dialogue where everyone's saying bro to each other all the time, and it's kind of cheesy sometimes, but outside of that, I thought that this was just an absolute blast, and if you are a fan of this franchise, do not walk but run to go and see it. Anyway guys, has my review swayed your opinion on whether or not you want to go see it? Let's talk about it in the comments down below, and as always guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope you go and check this out. I'm sure you will. It's gonna be a super successful film like all the other ones, but anyway guys, I'll catch you next time.